my name is Yuri, and we're gonna stream today some live coding. So let me know if you can hear me well, and let's get started with some coding. It seems like in September even less people come to the lives. Yeah, make some tea. Yeah, I'm testing new camera today, so hopefully it would work good for us. I think the picture should be much better. What do you think? Than the ones that I used before. Is there anyone? Is there anyone watching me? Am I alone in my room? Nobody's looking at me. Come on, tell me something. Tell me that you see me. Is this stream working? All right. I assume it does. So let's start. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. There's some delay probably, and yeah, I usually feel alone those couple of minutes, seconds, while the delay comes and you see my message and then you reply to it. So I've seen this website. It's not new, I think it's a couple of weeks ago maybe, but it's pretty cool to me. And they had a lot of those kind of effects done with the webgl, and of course they are looking beautiful. And I decided I should implement it today. Okay, I'm gonna change the screen now. Yay. Hey. Who aumenta? Okay. So yeah, the website. So they have all these kind of effects on the 3D models. Of course, they have some 3D models that somebody created beforehand, but still they have some cool effects. And I decided I would implement that, and I decided I would also use the GSAP today and show you how you can connect kind of 3D scene to the website scroll bar and something like that. And also, well, on the last stream I shared with you my success on YouTube monetization. So a week ago I enabled my monetization, and you'd be surprised to know that I already earned $420. This is kind of the sad mood on today's live stream. Yeah, my stats are not that great, but still 420 is 420. All right. I guess I need to close this all stuff. Yeah. Hi everyone. Can you please share your geography? It's always nice to know like where the people are from who are watching you. And meanwhile, let's start creating stuff. Okay, I'm gonna create the folder. I'm gonna call it map, and then I'm gonna copy paste my template. It's not gonna be just a GIF, so we're gonna be creating some kind of a website. So let's do that. Okay, created the map. Hey, my friends. Yay. Oh, it's still a crazy time over there. Are you working so late at night? India, yo. Okay, so we got something working probably. Yeah, so we got the usual UV plane with the shader. Hey, Russia. With the UV coordinates visualized. So let's start doing the 3D object. It's actually going to be quite easy this time. So let's go to the Sketchfab. And I'm ready to hear your proposals, like what kind of object we should install in our scene. And well, because I'm kind of in a sad mood, I'm gonna look for woman. Okay, okay. Let's find a woman that we love on a Sketchfab. Sounds good, right? All right. All right. So which one should I pick? Okay, this is a Wonder Woman. Actually, like, oh, it's too big one. It's 2.6 million. No. I need some kind of simple model. This is too too much. I need just a simple, beautiful woman model, you know? Maybe this one. Just a simple Asian woman. Seems good to me. Housewife model. What the heck? How is this housewife? It's just a generic woman. Come on. Gonna burn in hell for that. Okay, I think I'd like to real fast convert my model to the GLB. I bet you can make that online, but I have installed some GLTF pipeline stuff. Yeah, just like that. And I have the GLB file where it's packed. This is just needed because I'm using parcel. You don't actually need this step if you're just using some other bundler of server, or you get the URL from the other way. Yeah, hey, Italy, Simon. Okay, I also need to open this whole editor. So app.js, I already have commented GLTF loader here. So I'm sorry, it's not going to be React Free Fiber this time because I'm still struggling. This whole stream actually is a bit of a challenge because, you know, I bought a new camera. Well, hopefully I look much better than before, or much worse because you see a lot of wrinkles and all this stuff. But anyway, so I bought a new camera and then I realized that to stream, you need to connect camera to your PC. And then also to stream, you need to charge your camera while you're streaming. And turns out my micro HDMI or mini HDMI cable is just too fat to fit together with the charging cable. So while I'm streaming, I can't charge my camera. So this means that we are running on the battery power right now, and I'm not sure like if it's gonna be enough battery power. So I just need to fit the whole animation until the camera dies. Well, or you just won't be seeing me, which is also seems okay. Anyways, so we're kind of on a challenge to test the new camera and its battery. All right, so we have the GLTF loader. This loader equals what? You GLTF loader load, and then I need to set the model and then some callback. And then after the callback happens, I'm gonna just log the GLTF file. And for that I need to import my model. Yeah, TikTok, exactly. All right. And it was, I think it was 80% when I started because for some reason I forgot to charge it. Okay, so import model from scene processed GLB. All right, because the parcel would just generate some URL for the build for the dist. Let's just output it, just so we are sure it's working all right. Yeah, so this is going to be the URL for the GLB file with the hash number, and this is already the loader working actually. So I blindly typed all the code and it's working. What a surprise. And then we have a scene here, and this is probably the stuff that you'd like to add to your scene. Like you'd like to add scene to your scene, so you have some scene inside your scene. It's going to be this scene at GLTF scene, which hopefully would get me a woman. Yeah, it did get me a woman, but this woman is much bigger than I expected. So a nice thing to do here is actually GLTF scene traverse, and then like all, so it's gonna traverse all the childs inside the scene, because it's kind of time consuming to get to the actual mesh here. Where's it? Mesh. There are a lot of meshes actually. That might be a problem, by the way, but still, yeah, let's try to do it. So if this is a mesh, which you can just do like that, let's just do mesh, not the mesh, scale, set, let's scale the woman. I feel like I'm doing something bad here. Maybe we should just download some other model, because there's going to be too many woman references and I might get just end being banned for some reason. Yeah, set, yeah. So yeah, let's scale the model a bit more. Kind of almost there. So the scale geometry, not the scale geometry, just the geometry. I think center, just center and geometry, but I'm not sure what's going to happen if we have a couple of, yeah, something really weird would happen, guys. Shouldn't be doing that. Oh no, we shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to remove this plane that I've been adding as a debug. So yeah, when we centered all the meshes that we had, so for some reason they encoded the hands separately from the body, and then the head is probably somewhere inside the body right now. You know, this is a complete random model, so just a disclaimer, it's not what I prepared to do, right? It's just what happened when I downloaded the random model from the Sketchfab. All right, so geometry center is probably not the way to go. But we can still use the model. Maybe I could just move it, you know. We'll scale it a bit more. What's the topic today? Okay, the topic today is this thing, but with this GSAP vibe on it. So right now we are bottom of the woman. Position wise. What the heck is happening? Why do I have a small dress here? Okay, maybe we should take just another simpler model, because I have some, well, I've been doing some GIFs lately. You've probably seen some of them, like on Twitter with the face stuff, and I've been using the model for that one. And it's just this bare bones simple model with one mesh, and I think we better be off with that one. So it's face GLB, because the woman started to look crazy. So it's going to be just face GLB, and the only difference is that we only have one mesh there. And later we can exchange that model for something else. Let's just see. So instead of scene processed, I'm going to use face GLB. And well, now we lost it. Because the scales and all this stuff is different. Probably I just scaled too much. Let's not scale anything. Yeah, we should actually even make it bigger. Which kind of tells us that all the humans and women in particular are different sizes. And that's okay. And that's okay. Okay. It's not actually all mesh. The O is already a mesh. That's why I had that problem. Maybe just -1. So this is all fast is just to center the model. Maybe this time I actually can do the geometry center. Yeah. So now we just have this center. Okay. what else we could do here? We could just replace the material of this mesh. Material equals this material, and just so we are sure what we are working with, let's just output this O, and the O is actually a mesh. So just a mesh with the geometry and material, and we just replace the material with shader material. Okay, let's get going. Kind of want to do it like this. So right now we are outputting the yellow color for some reason, and why is that? Should have been UV. Now it's red. Seems like we don't have any UVs for this one. This is weird. This is weird. Kind of want to start it with UVs, but doesn't really matter. Let's just output the normals first. So now we have the mesh in its 3D space. It's being colored with the fragment and vertex shaders. So first of all, I want to see the normal vectors. So let's just get the normals vector. We don't have normals? What? Oh no, I had to set normals actually. Yeah, we have the normals now. So now we could do some basic lightning for whatever reason we would want to do that. So yeah, kind of lightning, something like that. And what the guys did here, they actually put like, let's see the face. Let's get back to the face. Yeah, so you could see that they're being animated. In one of the previous streams, I actually did stuff kind of like that. So I could just do, for example, instead of just outputting diff, which is between 0 and 1, I can do this sine diff multiplied by 10, let's say. We have something like this. And that's already kind of suitable to do what they did. And then we could just use some patterns to fit that. But that's not the way that they did that. Actually, I already downloaded the file. It's called sky1png. Yeah, so it looks like that, the texture that you used on the website. Let's just try to add that one. I'm gonna call this sky. Then I need to import that one. So this is a texture that they're using to create this kind of effect. That's not all, but it's based on the texture. We are getting there. So we have this sky variable now, and then I need to add it to my shader. All right. And then I can use it on my UVs, if I had ones, which are absent in my model currently. I want to start with those UVs, but we can fake those UVs. We don't really need to put the texture like in exact spot or in exact place. It's just some kind of effect that looks nice on the model. So let's see. Where do I go? So I have the sky texture right now. I don't have UVs. So, well, I can at least bring back the plane just to test those UVs, because I have UVs on my plane, probably. Yeah, here they are. And And now I can just do something like this. And if only my model had those UVs, I would have the texture wrapped around this model. Well, let's just bring back that crazy model that we used before, actually. Why not? I'll just command this. I think we can do that. Scene processed. And then instead of multiplying, I'll bring back the old coefficient. So now we have model, and now you can see how the texture is being wrapped there. And I'll remove the geometry center also. I think it's kind of nice. And then somehow it all breaks apart. So maybe I can do this. Well, kind of getting there. It's too much. Yay! I think we could also make it a bit bigger. Yeah. Yeah, like that. That's enough. Okay, and we can remove the plane now. This model has some UVs, which we can just easily see if we output the UV. So we have some UVs on this woman. And we can wrap the texture around it. And then, I mean, this model, I keep calling this woman, okay. And then, so we can wrap the texture around it. It's already look kind of, yeah, it looks kind of nice. It's not exactly the effect we're looking for. We can just add some noise then. Add some noise. I'm gonna go with classic background noise this time. Boom, 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 boom. And then we can just add something to our UVs and distort the UVs. This is gonna be this noise. I think it's changing between -1 and 1, so I can just multiply it by something small and then run the noise, and the noise accepts yeah, the vec4 and then the repetition. I think that's too much, but okay. Repetition is gonna be just 1. And then here I'm gonna use VUV multiplied by some big value, then the time divided by some big value, and then just 0. So I got 4 numbers here, 4 numbers here. It should be working for me, but not yet because no matching on, yeah, because this is some weird noise function which requires some additional functions like these ones. No, that's not it. Noise, no matching overloaded function, because it's C noise. Yeah, now it's good. Now we see some kind of distortion here already. Probably because of that repetition part, it's not really cool. Yeah, so we can do something like this, which is already art, right? What I think guys did, well, what I know guys did, is that they mapped the normal vector, because we still have the normal vector, kind of this, to UVs. So right now we are wrapping this over the UVs. We could also do like this something. We can do the fake UVs, like fake UV, which is equal to, this is just, has nothing to do with real life or UVs actually. This is just like generating random numbers. So first UV is going to be the light coming from one side. It's going to be like this, and then normal vector. First UV coordinate, and then the second UV coordinate is going to be like -1, 0, let's say 1, some other random vector. It's like a light vector. Then we have some two random, seem to be random values. They might be negative, so I'm gonna do the absolute function on them. And then I think I can just use those UVs. Let's see, yeah, it's still working. So I can just use those UVs to do the texture mapping. So instead of VUV, I'm gonna use the fake UV. Yeah, I need to output the actual texture. So it's going to be some other like kind of random wrapping of the texture over the model. It still follows, somewhat follows the shape of the model, but yeah. And you can imagine any kind of UVs that you can invent for your special occasion and to just for some effects. And the UVs that the guys used, I think this is, they're just mapping the normal vector, three-dimensional normal vector into the two-dimensional UV coordinate stuff. And I think it looked like what? Yes, how do you do that? There are a bunch of ways to do that. And the way that they used it, I think this, okay. So first of all, we are calculating some angle phi, which is going to be a cos of the v normal y coordinate, pointing to the up. And then another angle we're going to calculate is going to be the A10 angle of the normal x and the normal t. I don't think it matters actually what's the order or what's the sign even of those things, because this is just kind of generating another fake UV stuff. And then the new fake UV is going to be two-dimensional thin, and then we need to normalize both of these values. And I think phi is the a cosinus, is just a cosine, it's just between these values. And then the second value, I mean the first one, is between minus pi and pi, so that means that this value is gotta be just plus pi. So this is between 0 and 2 pi, and now we need to divide this with 2 pi's, right? I think this should be it. Okay, let's just visualize those fake UVs for a moment and see how they look like. Somewhat like this. This kind of look like a lightning, and this is actually one of the ways to implement some fake external image lightning. And let's try to wrap our texture on those UVs now. Well, I wouldn't say it looks a lot different, but I think I like it a bit more. Well, this particular model I think has non-continuous UVs or something like that, because it's not really a beautiful model, but still kind of nice. Okay, we didn't actually need the UVs after all, because like we implemented the fake UVs. So the next thing we want to do, maybe just 10. This whole repetition stuff. Like this is all dependent on the model. I bet the guys played with the models a bit, and this model is a bit not quite good because of the dress, probably because of the body part. Okay, So we kind of make the effect. It's actually quite simple. You can wrap any texture, any random numbers, and then you get something like beautiful. And then you look closer at the model and it's beautiful. And then we could also continually move our fake UVs. So we can do something like the fake UV equals fract, and then the fake UV plus time divided by 4, time divided by 2, so they move differently. And then it's gonna continually move in one direction, like all the time. Maybe it's too big of a thing. This looks a bit better. Well, also to add some detail, we can use some fake lighting like this. How do we call this? Fresnel, let's call it Fresnel. And then it's gonna be the dot product of camera position and V. Normal. Let's see. This is not Fresnel. I'm just calling this name. Well, something is wrong with this model, to be honest. Let's just get back to our Calgado face. I keep changing those models all the time. Yeah, position. Yes, now you see that we have this black thing on the edge of the model. And to amplify this, I can do something like that. Like I could just use the power function, but better. So now we have something on the edge. And then I could do, instead of just outputting this model, I can do something like this. So it's gonna be alpha 1. And here I'm gonna mix it's gonna be mixing them by this value, and it's gonna mix the white color and the RGB value of my texture. And this is kind of cool. You can see this, it's a bit white on the edge, but I want it to be the other way around. No, actually didn't want it to be the other way. This was correct all along. Just that it became too dark for some reason. Why? Why is it so dark now? So it's kind of cool, and it looks almost like the Mave website. So what's wrong with mixing those values by the Fresnel? Maybe it's negative or something. Let's just do this. Why does it become so dark? Any ideas, guys? Yeah, and this model doesn't have UVs anymore, right? Oh, I like this. I actually like this even more than the one that I got before. So I don't actually care. Why is it moving so fast? Oh, because I have this, I'm moving the UVs with the time. Where do I have this? Fract. Yeah, right here. That's kind of cool by itself. So when the distance is correct, you can see this glow on the edge of the model. So it's kind of what the guys did. And I think just set the camera position. It's too much. So it's about faking the lightning. It's not actually lightning or the reflections, it's just faking some stuff. I think it's pretty cool the way it looks right now. This kind of glow on the model. Kind of like that one. Let's just real fast see how the fake UV look like. And boom, 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 boom. Oh, this seems right. This seems right. Okay. Just to test things out. Nah, so it's not going over the edge probably. Okay. So now we have this UVs, now we have the fresnel, now we have this kind of look. Well, I think that's kind of it. Why should I go for the pixel per pixel, like the same stuff? I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so this is how they make the models, and also they have a black background, so it's just black background. And now let's try to connect this one to the actual website. So let's imagine that we have the couple of sections of the website where the model should be turned by some angle. Let's do that. I have the style CSS. Let's first write the HTML. It's gonna be some title, be happy. So just a real fast HTML coding. Kind of want to see the model while I code. Feels good. Okay, and I need 3 of those sections. 1, 2, 3. Let's try to use some GSAP on these ones. So first of all, I'm gonna rename this thing into the module. Then I'm gonna import sketch from module, and then I need to run this sketch. The sketch used to be run by itself right here at the bottom. So I'm gonna run it now like this. I should just probably restart. Yeah, it's all good. So we have the HTML, we have the canvas now. And boom, 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 boom. What's next? So kind of for debug purposes, I'm gonna set some background on the body, like gray one. Section is gonna be, I don't actually have to set the width. And then display flex. Should I set the color? Let's set the border. In height, I mean height. So now we have kind of a simple website with 3 sections. And I want this head to be on the background, and I want something to be animated while I scroll, and to connect all those animations with the GSAP. So let's do that. The animation is in the container div, so I'm gonna just just real fast change it. Let's set the width and the height for those ones, and that index for -1. So now we have text on top. Let's change the CSS a bit. How do I reset the flex inside the container? I forgot that. Fuck that flex. Gonna be the old school guys. And then some crazy font size, because the crazier the font size, the more beautiful it looks like. And let's make it dependent on the height or something. Yeah, just set this so it doesn't go too much over the size. So now we have this size. Okay, maybe the websites should be a bit bigger than that, and the margins shouldn't be as big. And actually the width, yeah, like that. So now we have 3 sections with some titles. And that's cool, all right, but I want to connect that scroll to the 3D stuff in my model. How do I do that? Well, first of all, let's do some GSAP. Module, okay, it should be all right. Yeah, it's working. So let's start connect stuff. Import GSAP from GSAP. Also need ScrollTrigger. And I also need the split. Actually, I could download the GSAP. GSAP guys, so kind to present me with the license to their modules. So now I have all the business screen model files, and then I could just download the stuff. And because they are paid, like, you can just use them freely, you need to buy them first. And like almost everybody's using the npm right now. They invented some nice way to npm install those modules, even like from local file. To do this, I'm gonna just do the npm install and then this file name. Just install them. I only do that to use the split characters because I want to split the characters of my titles now. So GSAP split text. I want to include this one too. So it's called split text. I probably just need to import this like this. Split text, and then I need to register the plugins. I think with the GSAP it's usually about the registering the plugin also. How do you register the plugin? Bit lost here. This is a link to download the stuff. I needed kind of a tutorial. No, it's not what I need. Where's the tutorial? Oh, GSAP installation page, right. I think they have some snippets here, so I could just get them. So if I want to install the ScrollTrigger, this is how I would import that one. I also need a split text. Let's just copy paste all this stuff. Yeah, it's easier to do this way. Okay, so next thing I want to do, I want to implement some simple GSAP animation, just so like faking the web page that we are doing, like the usual award-winning websites. And let's do this. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this anymore. Here we go, have the beautiful website. I want to use the split text module first. And how do you use it? Well, let's get the sections first. I mean, the titles of the sections. So the titles equals, I'm gonna convert this one to array first, and then document query selector. Oh yeah, let's run it again. Okay, all good so far. And then I'm a bit chaotic here because I kind of want to achieve some at least some, it's not kind of beautiful. Like, I'm not going to make it completely beautiful. All right, so we have some titles. I want them to animate now. So first of all, I'll create some simple animation. Do I have those titles? Yeah, I have an array with those titles. So I'm gonna run loop on those. And for each title, I need to create the split text stuff. So I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be my split text. New split text, which I already have. And then the title itself, I think it accepts the DOM module, the DOM element, and then the type chars. Well, let's see. So right now we have all the titles separated into the characters. You could actually do that with just your JavaScript. I even wrote a module once that did exactly this with the words and characters. But I think, like, because I have the GSAP and I think this model is pretty much bulletproof, I wanted to use this one. So now I have this, and now I can do the animation. I had a bit of a cheat sheet for me, like what kind of animation would look cool enough. I think at this point it's better to do the from, and this thing, I think it's just have the chars. Well, let's cancel logit, but I bet it has the chars property, and then I could do something like duration 0.5 stagger. What else? Scale 3. This is going to be the from values. Like the letters would be animated from these values to their default values. Let's see. Kind of nice already. Don't you think so? Yeah, so this is what you can do, right? Something like that, and it already looks cool. The stagger always looking cool. Yeah, something like that. But the problem here that all those animations are working immediately. So when I restart the page, like the 3 and the second and the third title, they are being animated at the same time. To fix this, could just do the scroll trigger. Well, you could write some intersection observer, and you can write some JavaScript detecting when something comes into the viewport, but that's exactly the point of the scroll trigger thing. And the scroll trigger could be what? Could be this exact DOM element, I think. Right? This is split text. This is the DOM element that we are needing here, the title. So now they are starting to animate once they come into the scroll position, right? You see, we are animating them, and when they come into the viewport, the animation starts. So this is pretty easy to do, actually. All those scrolling animation is just like exactly one line of code. But this module is actually so extensible. I don't know. It's so much more than that. But let's maybe stop with let's stop with that one. And I need to connect the model to my scroll bar, right? So this is just some kind of animations to do with the text, and then I could do something without stagger, like. I just wanted to do something real fast with that text, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Also, I think it might look better. Maybe it's going to be better like this. Stagger is just making it animate, like if you have an array and every next animation would start exactly this time delayed after the previous one. So this is just a way of, if I remove the stagger, it's going to be like this. And if I set the stagger, and if I set the stagger even bigger, it's going to be like this. Boom, 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 boom. So just a way of cool looking stuff. Okay. What else? What else? I wanted to connect my 3D stuff into this stuff with a scroll trigger. And to do this, well, I think there are a couple of ways. We could just introduce the fake GSAP module. So let's gonna be needing this sketch equals this. And then I wanna do GSAP to. So let's just make some fake variable like object where a equals 0. And then I'm going to be animating the O object to the A value 1. And we're going to be animating that one on scroll. So I wanted to scroll trigger. And I wanted the scroll trigger to set to something that is wrapping all the divs that I have. So let's just do the wrap module. So it shouldn't change anything, just another div. And then I'm going to use this div. You can just write selectors here. I'm going to be using this div just as the trigger for my animation. And then when you're using those animations, I think you should have some triggers. Or is it like the other way? How to enable the debug stuff. Right, doesn't really matter at this point, but oh yeah, there's another thing, real important thing. Like we have all those animations are being run once, and when we get back, they're already there. But if we put this scrub through here, nothing really changed. But for them to work, I think with the scrub through, I think you should put another toggle actions here. And this says like what exactly should animation do when you get back with the scroll, or you get forward after the animation, like what should happen depending on the scroll. I'll just write some nice values, which probably this one, what animation should do when you get back. This one, what should animation do when you scroll past it. This one, what should animation do when you scrolling backwards through the animation, something like this. Right now they're working as before, and they're not going back. Okay, I need to learn my scrap thing better. Oh yeah. This is what I'm doing wrong. I have to put all those options into the scroll trigger. So the trigger should be this, and then the scrap should be true. And then the toggle actions should all be inside the scroll trigger. Yeah, and right now we just connected this whole animation to the scroll bar. You see, when I'm scrolling, being animated. But what else we could do? Scrub through is just directly connecting your scroll position into the animation, to the timeline of the animation. But if we do the scrub 1, we're gonna get some nice inertia here. So I already stopped scrolling, but it's still being animated to the position that I wanted to do. So it's pretty cool, actually. This is really cool. And this is what I want to do with my 3D model. And this is why I'm going to this GSAP ScrollTrigger. This is why it was wrong all along, because I have to wrap it. I forgot to wrap it. So you have to put all those options inside the scroll trigger. Now I have the scroller end and the scroller start and the end and the beginning of the animation. And then I can have the on complete, I think. Maybe on update. I think I have to put it here too. And let's output what do we have here inside the scroll trigger. So right now we are scroll triggering the rep div, which is the whole page, and then we have something on update. Okay. So let's see what's being updated there. I'm gonna scroll and I'm getting this scroll trigger thing, and I have this progress of the scroll trigger object. So the starting object is 0.25, which is not really cool, and the end is 0.75, which you can already kind of guess how to fix, because this is because we are starting with the bottom part of the screen, so we already scrolled past some of the animation, but we can change that. I think this is like this. So let's check out the progress now. Okay, so the progress starts with 0, and when we scroll to the bottom, it gets all the way to the 0.66. Oh, because it's I made the double start. Yeah. Okay. What? What's wrong with my on updates thing? It's not end. It's the bottom, because it's the top and the bottom of the div. This is just the keywords that they're using. Okay, so now it starts with 0 and goes all the way to the 1. Yeah, so we finally made something from 0 to 1. And this means, and by the way, I think they also have this snap function. I'm not sure how it would work in this particular case. Let's just try this one. It actually works perfectly. So it just snaps us to each of the sections, but snaps in a light way. You know, it's not just hijacking the scroll. No, it's just you finish the scroll, it waits a bit, and then it scrolls to the next model. Why is it 0.5? This is actually because it have to be this. So it snaps to the values of those progress bars, and the progress have to be 0.5 because it's 3 minus 1, and 3 is the number of 3 is the loneliest number. No, actually 1 is the loneliest number. So just the title length. kind of like this. So now it snaps to the sections. We have all those animations. This is just, you know, like a couple of lines of code with the basic stuff. And the last stuff that I'd like to do, I want to expose the model here. So when I did the model, when I export that, I'm adding the GLTF scene. I want to do this model equals GLTF scene. And now inside this stuff, I can just access it probably. Sketch model, yeah, and then self progress. Okay, so the model is a group and we have the progress, and what's left to do is just to set some stuff here. So the sketch model is going to be equal rotation y equals to multiplied by 2 multiplied by self progress. Yeah, and here we go. We just connected the HTML scroll to the 3D model stuff, and we scroll the model, and then we could add the scrub here too. So it's going to be with some inertia. And it's looking even better. So when I stop scrolling, it still kind of moves a bit, and then it snaps, and it snaps with the 3D model involved here. You can see, so it's snapping with the 3D scene now. It's actually pretty cool. Nah, that's emotional. That's not. I'm not tired. I'm just depressed. Sorry, guys. And this is because of a new camera that you can see that I'm really tired and I'm real old. Okay. So we're almost there. I just wanted to add last thing. I think you can run like this one I did with a fake object. Yeah, JS code. Everything is JavaScript these days, so it's not really surprising. So I can just do something like this, like let tail equals GSAP timeline. And then I think I could just run ScrollTrigger by itself. So like here I did something like with a fake animation, which also works kind of perfectly to me. I could also do the sketch model equals math sign 3. Yeah, I think that's too much. Maybe the other way around. Well, I think you pretty much can play like any kind of position with this model. Maybe I should make it bigger actually, it's gonna be nice. Can be fly into the space and then bring back here. Yeah, but I wanted to show you the last thing, that you can actually connect the timeline there. So let's just do the documentation. ScrollTrigger. I think you can initiate ScrollTrigger without any fake object, and just documentation. Just do the ScrollTrigger by itself, like this. I'll just try to do this last thing. So the trigger is going to be the rep. The start is going to be top, and the end is going to be bottom. And then on update and the snap. And then the scrub too also. I don't need the markers anymore. So I can just hide this stuff now. And what the last thing I need to do here, I can just the animation. Can set the animation, which is going to be the timeline that I just created. And this timeline, I'm going to comment the old stuff. Hey, why am I still seeing the animation? Why do I still see? Because it's already working, because I stated the onUpdate function and it's just working like that. You know, just replaced it like that. So I didn't even need that object, right? But I can move those animation into the GSAP. Let's just do that. Gonna be animating rotation. Duration, whatever, and then the Y is gonna be like 7, whatever, any kind of rotation. Now I have this animation, just comment. Just comment this and see if it's working. Does not. It doesn't. Okay, this is the timeline. This should be the timeline. Still not working. What the hell? So sketch, model rotation, Y. We are at the end. I think this way is perfectly fine, but I just wanted to see like how they connect the animation. Timeline instances should be controlled by the scroll trigger. Only one animation is controlled, but you can reveal your animation. Yeah. Sketch model rotation. We have the sketch, we have the model, we have the rotation. It should be working just fine. I probably made some mistake because I'm stupid. I don't know where. Probably something simple. Let's just true. Scroll trigger in timeline. Like right here, I think. But I thought that this information is enough for the timeline to grab it. It could work like that. I just wanted to create it like separately. This way is perfectly fine too. And I could just play the timeline right here, just stating the progress of the timeline. So it's perfectly fine to do it like that too. I just wanted to do the cool way. And by the way, we also have the velocity variable here. So the scroll trigger is one of the coolest things that happened to the scroll thing. Yeah, probably. Okay, so this is gonna be the homework. Not gonna be fixing it at the moment. I think this way is perfectly fine. Gotta read more about the documentation because I wanted to implement it like 5 different ways possible, which is crazy. Always when I'm depressed, I'm trying to put even more stress on myself. Yeah. Right now we have all the animations and the model is rotated and everything is connected. And if you go into the stuff to see how it's being animated, like, come on. You see it's all just the transform values and it animates only the object that needs the animation. I mean this stagger thing. And then like the scene is being updated only when the scroll trigger is updating. So it's pretty much win-win. And I can put the scrub to 5. It's even more inertia. I'm not sure what the value. scrub value. What are the possible values? The amount of time in seconds that the playhead should take to catch up. Okay, so it's 5 seconds is a lot to catch up to that one. We can do that. We can do here too, the scrub, like 5 seconds. That's some crazy values. I don't think it's 5 seconds for me now, for some reason. Maybe they have the maximum value or something like that. Well, anyway, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So this is how you just connect this simply in 1 hour. You make a 3D scene, you write the shaders, and then you implement the simple HTML, CSS. I think I did a good job. Hopefully, I did a lot during this stream, because it seems for me like I'm never doing enough stuff. You can also play with the scroll triggers for those titles, because right now they are exactly at the scroll position. The scroll position is not correct, so like you have the partial animation here of the stagger. So it's about to play with the when you want the animation to begin, when you want it to the end. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can apply the ease to the. Thanks. That's my crazy design skills. Okay, of course you can apply the ease into the 3D model, but right now the model is connected to the scroll, so kind of crazy to implement the easing there, because it's going to be the easing over easing, because there is inertia in the scroll by itself, so it might be crazy. To implement models, I just download the model. Well, to get some tutorials, I think the Blender Guru account is pretty good. I haven't tried it myself, but a lot of people recommend that one, so I probably should try that. I think, for judging by the looks, it's pretty good if you want to draw models in Blender yourself. So, well, that's it. This was pretty long stream. It's pretty crazy. I've been really stressed. Hope you guys had some fun at least. Why easy is not easy. Nothing in life comes easy, especially the cool stuff. So yeah, if you want, you can go support me on Patreon. I'll continue, so I can continue streaming and buying some new gear and do this stuff. I'll do the donut maybe in 10 minutes when I'm not online. So the camera actually, the battery is actually good enough for a 1 hour stream. It's pretty good. Hope you like that one. Hope you like the streams. If you want, go support me. If not, just say me thank you. Slap like on my videos. Please slap like, it really means a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna change the view. Yeah, I think I can see a lot. I can see myself on the screen now with this new camera. Yeah. So guys, have a good day, have a good night, have a good everything, have a good life. Do something good. Say some good words to someone. Please do that. And I'm wishing you a good Sunday. And see ya. See ya next week. No, maybe in 2 weeks. Next week I'm going to the parents. So see you next 2 weeks in a fortnight. Cheers.